because yes, today is Thursday, March 18th, 2025. Wait, 18th? No, today's the 19th. I think I just wrote the wrong day down because tomorrow spring is here. Happy winter wrap-up day to any and all who celebrate, which is as good of a transition as I'm gonna get. I have started watching Friendship is Magic again. And the reason I am is not just because it's one of my favorite shows. So, Jose and I are doing our playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 2. So back in 2024, we did a playthrough of KH1 because he hasn't played the games on Critical, and technically KH1 doesn't have a Critical mode, but the Final Mix Proud mode is supposed to be its version of Critical. So we did that, and he's like, okay, next we're going to do KH2. But technically next is going to be Chain of Memories. And we did not play Kingdom Hearts at all in 2025 because he just was like, I really don't want to play Chain. And around February, maybe it wasn't all in March, but I think in February he kind of was like, I really want to play Kingdom Hearts again. I really want to play 2, but I should go ahead and play Chain. It's like, it's going to be really, really soon. And so he finally played Chain. And from what I remember, he's like, I didn't super care for it doing Sora's route. I liked Riku's a lot more because I feel like the mechanics in Riku's are a bit more fun. It's not just walk into a room and fight stuff. It works better. But we have now started 2. And partway through Twilight Town, like he finished Roxas's and was starting Sora's, he's like, okay, because he has like a double monitor setup. He's like, I'm going to have a double monitor. And one monitor is going to be Kingdom Hearts. And the second monitor, you can put on whatever you want. And I'm not going to stop you. And it's something we kind of been talking about and joking about for a while, is the fact that he sort of low-key wants to watch Friendship is Magic, but wants to be able to say it wasn't of his own volition. And so he's just like, I'm going to give you the opportunity to make me watch this show that I kind of want to watch. But I don't want to watch it. And so that's kind of what's been going on. So a couple days ago, so that would be, today's Thursday, so Tuesday, we watched episodes 1 through 5. And I think, what was that? I finished, I did the Mysterious Tower portion of Twilight Town, Land of Dragons, most of Beast Castle, and then he took over and finished the end of Beast Castle and did Colosseum. I'll also say, we've basically been skipping the cutscene. I think what our more or less rule is, if it's Disney characters, we're skipping the cutscenes. If it's real plot, then we let them play. The ones in, Hollow Bastion, because the first visit Hollow Bastion, I let those play. Actually, no. I think I skipped most of those, but then when when Zemna shows up, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let this play. And then yesterday we had a much shorter session because Jose was really tired and I had some other stuff I wanted to do. But I did do Timeless River, and I did not skip the cutscenes of Timeless River. That is my favorite Disney World in the game. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite Disney World in the series, but it's a very high contender for that. I absolutely love Timeless River. But we got that done, and we watched 2 episodes. We watched 6 and 7. No, yes, it was 6 and 7. Then later, after Survivor, when I get back, he's just like, hey, do you want to watch a few more episodes? I'm like, I'm not going to say no. And it was not during Kingdom Hearts. He was, I think he's been playing Dust is the name of the game. It's a platformer. But he's just like, do you want to throw on some episodes? So then we watched 8, 9, and 10. Which means, because I had even said, I think I had said this on Tuesday. I probably said it for sure yesterday as well. It's I want to make sure we watch episode 11 on Thursday, because that way we will watch Winter Wrap-Up on Winter Wrap-Up Day. So, presumably, hopefully, at some point later today, we will do so. And I'm looking forward to that. So our session today should be Port Royal, and then some combination of Agrabah and Halloween Town, maybe both. I know Pride Lands, I believe, is an entirely optional world. You don't have to do it. We're gonna. So I assume we'll probably do Pride Lands before we go back to Hollow. I don't remember when you get Twilight Town back. Because I believe that's where you get Limit form. Like, you get Oathkeeper and Limit together. And I know you have Limit before the Thousand Heartless, because that's a really good way to level it up. So I don't know if it's like, is it after Port Royal? Is it like at the same time as Hollow Bastion? It might be that you do Agrabah and Halloween Town, then you get Twilight Town, and then after you do Twilight Town, then you have to go to Hollow Bastion. And that's when you do Space Paranoids, Demi, the Final Fantasy fights, and then the Thousand Heartless. And then after that is when you do the worlds a second time, except Timeless River, because it was so perfect you only had to do it once. And I guess Atlantica you don't do twice, you just kind of do it in chunks. That sounds right. I'm not a hundo on that, but we'll see. Anyways, but my point is, I think we'll do Port Royal, and then some combination of Agrabah and Halloween Town, maybe both. And I think we're trying to do about 5 episodes a day, so that should be... Okay. Winter Wrap-Up, Call of the Cutie, Fall Weather Friends, Suited for Success, Feeling Pinky Keen. Yeah, that should be 11 through 15. Okay, and at that point, we will have slightly past the halfway point of Season 1. Because if you do 5 episodes in a sitting, I guess not always in a sitting, but 5 episodes a day, you'd pretty much finish the season in 5 days. Technically, that's 25 episodes instead of 26, but then you'll just throw in part 2 right after. So that's about a season a week. Okay, that's doable. We should finish season 1. Okay, and then it'd be up to episode 18 by Thursday, and that's Saturday. It might get a little dicey just based on schedules, but we'll probably finish season 1 by Saturday or so. So that's neat. And then I don't know how far we'll be in Kingdom Hearts by that point. We were having a conversation about, what are we going to do first? Finish Kingdom Hearts or Friendship is Magic? I'm like, oh, we'll definitely finish Kingdom Hearts first. And he's like, yeah, but we're going to do the data fights. I'm like, that's true. But I would say at the rate we're going, especially if we are just skipping most of the cutscenes, excuse me, we should probably finish Kingdom Hearts maybe around season 3-ish, including data fights. I'm going to guess around season 5, maybe season 6. We'll see. But I think that's doable. Okay, so now let me look at my notes. So that's Winter Wrap-Up Day, Kingdom Hearts, and Friendship is Magic. So, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, video games. I got 2 I got to talk about. One is Octopath 2. I did finish it. I finished it Saturday, and I haven't been doing any post-game stuff. Because I wanted to, and I was like, I still am interested in doing that. It's I do want to fight Caldera. I do want to, beat the original Travelers. But I'm also just kind of in I spent, what was my final time? I'm not sure, but I want to say it was 80 hours or so. I spent a lot of time playing this game. And it's great. It's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But I'm I'm kind of good. I kind of just want to do some, other stuff. Because there's a lot of writing and a lot of, isling I was supposed to do. And then I just wasn't because I was playing Octopath. I need to get back on that. So I don't think I've touched Octopath since. I think I booted it up the same day I finished it. But alright, what happens if I fight the original Travelers? Bad things. Cool. Again, I would still like to at some point. But I'm not currently in that rush right now. But there is another game I'm playing. Because yesterday morning, my buddy Wyatt hit me up. He's like, hey, so me and some of the guys got copies of Fire Red and Leaf Green. Do you want to come play some Pokemon with us later today? And I'm like, I do. Let me get Leaf Green real quick. And I was like, okay, do I want to play a Nuzlocke? Because I don't really do Nuzlocks. I just like to be like, let me have my adventure. I'm like, I have played Leaf Green before. Maybe I should give this a shot. So I am, and here's, I guess, my progress. So I wanted to name my character Rita the Chica, because I just thought of like Chikorita. I'm like, that's funny. I like that. Unfortunately, that does not fit. So my character's name is just Rita. And I just named my rival Jimmy. I couldn't think of a name. I wanted to name it Bran Flakes, but it didn't fit either. And I was like, Bran Flake, Brandon. I mean, it fits, but I don't know. Let's just go with Jimmy. So I just named him that. But early progress. I am in Cerulean City. I skipped a lot of trainers in Mount Moon. Like, I found a good amount, but a lot of, like, the side paths I didn't do. And there's that part of me that's like, I did miss out on some experience, but I started with Bulbasaur. I was running really low on Vinelip. Like, I was out by the time I got to the end of Mount Moon, and there were some other trainers in Route 4. I'm like, I should battle y'all. But no. You're like, Ivysaur can't fight right now. It's got Leech Seed and Poison Powder, which is a really nice combo. But no, I'd rather just go to Cerulean and heal up, but because of the way it's set up, I can't just go back up and fight those trainers or like go back and do some stuff in Mount Moon. I pretty much have to grind here and then to go fight Blue and I guess go fight Jimmy. And we could maybe take him. I don't know if I want to risk that without a few more levels, which means I have to grind, and I don't really want to just grind fighting wild Pokemon either. That doesn't sound fun. And that's kind of my one thing where I'm like, the idea of a Nuzlocke is really interesting and really fun because of that challenge aspect. But also not playing a ROM, meaning I can't just say, oh, okay, let me just skip the grinding aspect. And it's just here's what they have, here's what I have. This is the puzzle. How do I solve it with my resources? It is like, okay, well, now I actually have to spend time grinding, and this is not fun. Maybe it'll be fun, and like maybe I'm grinding too much. Not even like my Pokemon are under leveled for this next fight, but it's just like, this might get annoying. But my team right now, there's Littlefoot the Ivysaur. Who is next? Radigan the Rattata. Brisbee the Pikachu. I got really lucky that my encounter in Viridian was a Pikachu. In Viridian Forest. Okay, so I guess I should go in order. I'm trying to go in order, but I think it's important to say this. So Route 1, I found a Rattata, and I killed it. Route 2, I found a Rattata, and I was like, okay, that's a duplicate, which means I don't have to catch it, but I should, especially since I killed the first one. So that was Radigan, and then Viridian Forest was Pikachu. Then Route 2 was a Weedle. I killed the Weedle. Then we beat Brock, and then Route 3 was... Actually, before my encounter in Route 3, I think I got the Magikarp. And so I was like, okay, so that's Bouncy the Magikarp. Route 3 was Margot the Spearow. Mount Moon, Barbara the Zubat. And then Route 5 is Ducks Rocks, also the Spearow. And so the reason I specifically decided I'm going to catch the second Spearow instead of just saying it's a duplicate, because if I had done that, the next encounter would have been a Sandshrew. I'm like, oh, that actually would have been great. Which, pin. But I was like, I think I am specifically going to trade for ducks, because I don't know if I've ever really used the Farfetch'd, and I don't know, maybe I'll use him, like, there's a reason I don't use Farfetch'd. But I want to give him a shot, so, like, we'll see how that goes. Taking the pin out, I have been catching other Pokemon. I have not been using them, because for me, I'm like, I still want to play Pokemon. I still want to catch stuff. I still want to try to complete the decks. Because I assume, because this does have home connectivity, even if that's not live right now, that if you complete the decks, you'll get like a shiny mythical in home. Because they've been doing that the past few games. And maybe they won't. But this might be shiny Mew. And I really, 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 really like shiny Mew. Sorry. I got a little distracted there by how excited I was about getting a blue Mew. My point is, I am still catching other stuff. I am just intentionally not using them. Like, first chance I got with some of the other ones I got, like I caught a Caterpie and a Weedle in Viridian Forest, was I'm just going to dump them in Pewter City, like, the second I can. So, when I went back to Route 2, because I skipped the first bit of grass in Route 2, I was like, I'm going to go to the one outside Viridian Forest, and there was a Weedle. I'm like, I have caught a Weedle already. I'm like, I have. But that was a non-canon encounter. That was a non-canon catch. This is the one that actually counts. So this one I have to catch, and now it's dead. Okay, so nothing from Route 2. So that is what I am doing. So if that disqualifies this as a Nuzlocke, oh well. I'm still otherwise treating it like one. Because like I said, I have not used any of these other Pokemon. The box there, it is literally called non-canon. To me, gift Pokemon are fair game. So, like, getting the Magikarp, the Game Corner, the Eevee, that's all fair. When it comes to in-game trades, I am allowed to do it if I have genuinely caught that Pokemon. Like, I can't go hunt Abra to trade for Mr. Mime, but if I just happen to catch Abra, I am allowed to trade it for Mr. Mime. If the trade Pokemon dies, like I said, I have 2 Spearows. If Margot dies, even though Ducks Rocks is the one that I intend to trade, if Margot were to die, I am allowed to trade her for the Spearow. I know I'm not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to release them. Oftentimes, players will have a graveyard set up. And that's kind of what I intend to do, because again, I want to complete the decks. Like, here's my graveyard. I'm not allowed to use them. I will make an exception for in-game trades because I like the idea of it almost being reincarnation. And I think that's kind of neat. Like, there's some cool flavor to that. So we'll see which will be really funny if it is Margot that goes, and it's like, oh, now I have this Fearow named Ducks Rocks. And then Ducks also in the party, and like they just become bros or something. I don't know. But, there's that. Out-of-game trades... excuse me, sorry. I will say, number one, like, if I get, like, a Haunter or a Machoke, I am allowed to trade that and trade it back, so that way I can get the Machamp or the Gengar. I think that's completely fine. And if anyone disagrees, go pound sand. I think that's stupid if I'm not allowed to do that. In terms of, like, trading a Pokemon I have with a friend to get something else, I don't like it, but I think I can make specific exceptions for, like, version exclusives. Like, for example, if I genuinely, in my run, catch Bellsprout or Vulpix, I feel like I am allowed to trade that for its equivalents. Like, I could trade Bellsprout for Oddish, I could trade Vulpix for Growlithe. Would I actually do that? Probably not, because I would love to just have a Ninetales, and yeah, I love Vileplume, but I like Victreebel. Victreebel was one of my mains in ZA. I love this stupid thing. But I feel like if I am trading a Pokemon for a version exclusive, like trading for something of roughly equal value, that's fine. But it's not something that I'm, like, chomping at the bit to do. I think in-game trades for as reincarnation is really cool flavor, so I'm going to do it. And yeah, like in Pokemon Tower, which This might be cheating as well. I don't know. But I feel like for Pokemon Tower, yeah, I'm not going to count any encounter until I get the Silph Scope. I think that's fair. So, yeah, if I do get Ghastly, then if I evolve it into a Haunter, I will probably trade it with a buddy and get Gengar. Assuming, it is alive that long. Or for all I know, that won't matter because I'll just get Cubone instead. Or it's like, all right, well, let me go catch an Abra. And, oh, that's right. Abra sucks to catch. Gosh, I really don't want to get Abra, but I do. And even if I do get an Abra, I'm like, that is just dead weight for a while. But then Kadabra is going to be good. Alakazam is going to be a monster. Or I could just trade up and get Mimey. Because I don't think I've ever used Mimey. And Mimey, I think it's supposed to be pretty good. So we'll see what happens. But I think that's really all there is to say right now about the Nuzlocke. Yeah, and I said Octopath. I finished. Oh yeah, I said I finished it. I didn't really say what my thoughts on it were. I guess short version. The game was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. There's a reason I played for 80 hours. Because it wasn't just the story. I did a lot of side stuff. Just did a lot of random bullshit. Because I wanted to explore and I wanted to have fun. And I was having a lot of fun. There were several points throughout the game where I just thought to myself, like, when I was playing Trails, when I was playing Horizon specifically, at around, like, the 20-hour mark, this is about how much progress was made in the game. Like, at the 50-hour mark, this is how much progress was made in the game. And consistently, I was like, I am enjoying Octopath way more. Excuse me, because I feel like stuff is actually happening in the story rather than like some neat kind of side. The best way I can describe Horizons is things happen, but a lot of it feels like it's setting up and it's setting up and it's teasing and it's teasing. And by the time you get to the end, there is definitely some stuff that follows through on that and is good and it's cool and it's interesting. And a lot of it is, no, this really was just set up. Or some of the like reveals and payoff you get is like, this is the payoff that's kind of weak compared to what I figured you were setting up. And okay. The ending does a lot for me in Horizon, but I really can't help but look back and just feel disappointed. Mostly because it was so long. And I just keep thinking, like, it really didn't need to be that long. And a lot of the side stuff I did was like, I'm doing it because it's a Trails game and I do the side stuff. And a lot of the times that's really good. And some of it was. But a lot of it was just like, okay. Like, a lot of it felt like doing busy work. And then I'm playing Octopath and I'm like, wait, I think I like all 8 of these stories to varying degrees. I do think that some are more just like, oh, okay, but there's good moments. And others are like, I would watch this as a television show and I would be on the edge of my seat every episode. I honestly think Octopath 2 would be a really cool TV show. I don't really know how you would do it because I don't think you would do like, okay, like here's just an Ochet episode and it's just her doing a thing like without everyone else. I feel like you would have to have these moments of characters coming together. I guess one way you could do it is like, okay, here's your main character, whoever it is. I'd probably pick Hikari because his story is literally about finding allies and the power of friendship. So him gathering people to join him makes a lot of sense. And then we're like, oh, okay, like, who's the first person he gets? Let's say Cass. I don't know, because they're relatively close on the map. So you could do a thing where it's like, okay, well, Cass has a chapter in Winterbloom, so they go up to Winterbloom, and that's where you get Oswald, and then you just do, like, a whole bunch of... I don't know. There's maybe a way this could work. There's maybe a way it doesn't. Let me try that again. There's a way this could work, but it would be kind of meticulous. But I think it would be doable. I think it'd be really interesting. And I think the quality of the stories could translate pretty well. But consistently, I was thinking to myself, this game is really fun. I like doing a lot of the side stuff. I like doing a lot of the exploration. Yes, I'm being rewarded, like with levels or good items, but I'm just having fun. And the progress in the stories, I feel like I'm being consistently rewarded with good and interesting stuff and not just getting teased for 50 hours and like, oh, we're finally starting to get something interesting. It's no, by 50 hours, a lot was happening. So like, I thought the game was fantastic. What else do we have? Okay, only a few things left. So number one, March Madness is happening. Speaking of games, going into sports, NBA playoffs will be starting soon. I think we're about a month away. I think OKC is one of the only teams to officially lock in a playoff spot. Most of the top, I think the top 7 seeds in the West have all locked in at least the play-in. But I think OKC is the only one to for sure be in the playoffs. Maybe the Spurs have gotten one as well. But March Madness has started. I think the technically tournament game started Tuesday with like the first 4 in, but official tournament is now live. I don't know if games are on like right now, but later today if not. I think for my bracket, like my official CBS one, I had UConn winning. Because I don't know, I am very, very, very casual when it comes to this. It's just, all right, like based on numbers or the mascot or vibes, here we gotta go. So I picked UConn. I think I had UConn winning both. And then a friend of mine invited me to a bracket yesterday, and I think in that one I had like Michigan beating Vandy in the final. Just, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I really enjoy March Madness, and I think a lot of it is because I am very, very casual at college basketball. I'm not, unless like the Sooners are in. It's like I will always root for them. I think we were the first team out. But I'm like, look, man, I'm just here to have fun. I'm here to have a good time. Let's just go for it and see what happens. I just want to see a good Cinderella run. I want to casually watch some games and, you know, get really invested in one team that I otherwise would never think twice about. Like a few years ago, I think it was the UMBC Retrievers were the first 16 seed to ever beat a number 1 seed. I'm like, all right, let's go. And then they lose the next round. Or what was it, like the Dunk City, Florida Gulf Coast? You know, anytime Sister Jean, I mean, rest in peace, but anytime Sister Jean and the Ramblers are in, I'm like, all right, let's go. Because I think, didn't they make the Final Four like a few years ago? Maybe not. Maybe it was like the Elite Eight, but I think they went on a good run. Or was like Sindarius Thornwell, which is probably one of my favorite names of all time, and the Gamecocks, I think, like went to the Final Four. You know, it's fun, man. So there was that. I did mention Isla-ing earlier and how I hadn't been doing as much because of Octopath, but I am theoretically still on pace for posting tomorrow, because the chapter that should be posted tomorrow, I would say, is probably like 90% done. Essentially what it comes down to is I need to review it just to make sure that everything like flows. Does everything flow? Is everything consistent? Does it sound good, etc., etc.? It basically just needs to be edited because it's already been like rewritten, and just some of the bits of like, oh, okay, like Robin is using his abilities. Let me make sure that like the phrasing here is the same, consistent as it is in other chapters, stuff like that. And there's one bit at the end of the chapter where I was like, okay, having a little bit of trouble of how I want to phrase this part. Like that part is unfinished. The rest of the chapter is finished. So I would say there's a very good, very high chance it will get posted, because I try to post them Friday at noon. It should be posted by then. There's a non-zero chance it won't be, but if so, it should be posted later on Friday, if not Saturday. Otherwise, like, barring, you know, like get struck by lightning or something, but you know, barring something bad, it should be posted soon. I've also put Orichalcum on NetGalley, and it has gotten like a decent amount of requests. I guess I don't know what a decent amount for NetGalley is, but it's gotten a good amount of like requests. So we'll see how many of those actually get. We'll see how many of them actually get read and reviewed, and if they're good reviews, and if that causes like a chain reaction where other people start reading it. In terms of Spiffbo, another Wednesday has gone by where I have not seen Orichalcum mentioned. So there's two more. There's next Wednesday and the Wednesday after, where it's going to be in one of those. And we'll see what happens. I think I had one more thing written down. Oh, right. I know what it is. Sorry. Allergies. Tomorrow spring is here, but the allergies are already starting to kick in. The last thing is that me, Clay, and Jose watched Fiona and Cake. We watched season 1. We haven't watched season 2 yet. We actually didn't do our videos on Distant Lands. Oops. At some point, we kind of need to do that, and then we'll need to do one on season 1. Short version, because I think I already brought up Distant Lands like a week or two ago, so I guess I'll go over it super quick. I liked all 4 episodes of Distant Lands. I'm glad I watched it. I will say the Finn and Jake episode was definitely my favorite, but I liked all 4. Fiona and Cake, it's definitely not what I thought it was going to be. Because I went in knowing that it was very much it is a more adult show, and it is, I think, like TV 14. Like, they get away with a bit more than they've really ever tried before. Like, there's some light swearing, and I was a little surprised, but not, like, off-put by any means. But I understood that it was going to be kind of more, like, introspective and such. I didn't know that it was a full-on, like, we are hopping through a lot of different multiverses, because I thought it was just, we're in the Fiona and Cake world. It's just it's a lot more mundane than you'd expect, and also Simon is here, and I don't know why. Now I know why, and it's, okay, this is what the show actually is. I thought it was going to be something completely different. Cool. Deadass, it might be my favorite season of Adventure Time. I might be wrong about that. Maybe it's like season 4 or something, because I don't remember which one it is. I want to say it's like season 3, 4, or 5 is probably my favorite season of just like the original run. But I loved Fiona and Cake, and I think a lot of it is just kind of like those moments, like the introspection. I really liked Fiona's character. Like, I really enjoyed Cake. Cake is a very fun character. But I really liked Fiona's arc. I freaking love Simon. And just seeing all these other worlds, part of it is just like, oh, this is cool, this is fun, this is neat. Like, oh gosh, the Winter King world is so fun. It's definitely one of my favorite episodes, which I feel like I said it like because dude, every single episode had a moment where I was just like howling with laughter. But some of the other ones, like seeing Farm World again, just kind of really got me. Like, I didn't cry or anything, but I was like, that one really, like, kind of got me. I loved that. Seeing... Oh, gosh, the World with the Lich. That got me, too. Like, oh, I love and hate the implications here. This is so freaking cool, man. It's fantastic. Like, 10 out of 10, no notes. I don't know when Clay and I will do a video on it. Maybe we'll do it after both seasons, but which we shouldn't, because we did every individual season of Adventure. There might have been a couple seasons we did join, so I don't know. But we'll get to it when we get to it. But so that was this week. The last thing I will say is there's a non-zero chance there won't be an episode next week. Just like, I'm gonna keep it pretty close to the vest, but I've got some stuff planned and some stuff going on. I'm hoping I will still be... I plan to still record one. I don't know if I will be able to post it. So there might not be, which I think would be the first time in like a year plus that I've actually missed a week. Because sometimes I miss a Thursday, but it'll come out on Wednesday or it'll come out on Friday. This one just might get missed. But like I said, I do still plan to record it. Hopefully I can post it that, like, I don't know, Tuesday, when we'll see. We'll see. But just letting y'all know, might not be able to do one next week. We'll go as we go. Take care.